Alright everyone, some of you may be wondering, do you need a photo etch bender to work with the photo etch on the TIE Fighter kit? For some of the really tiny parts, maybe. But for a lot of it, no. I'm going to show you something. I do have a photo etch bender. I bought it years ago. If you're wondering who it came from, there's the name right there. It's Motion Devices Engineering, and they have a website, motiondevices.net. I got this thing off eBay. I did not pay a lot of money for it. I think I paid $12 for it. I remember just seeing it on eBay and going, wow, that's a good price, and I bought it, and it's metal. The whole thing is metal. There is no plastic to it. This black plate is aluminum. Okay? The whole entire thing's metal. And it came with these bending blades too. It came with 3 of these bending blades. I am using it, and that's why we got the video here. Just checking to see. And I'm working on these parts right here. Now, let me tell you what part number this is from the photo etch set real quick. So you know, it is part 28. Okay? This is part 28 from the photo etch set. And there's 2 bend lines in it. There's a bend here and a bend here. And if you turn the part over, you will see the bend lines. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. My camera has more zoom left in it. I'm going to have to adjust the camera angle just a little bit. Now we're not working on an overhead, but that's okay. I'm actually bending this with 2 toothpicks. Okay? What I'm doing is I'm aligning the bend so it just overhangs the edge of the bending plate. I'm holding it with 1 toothpick and just lifting with another. Since they have these fold lines in them, they bend pretty well on their own. They want to bend at the fold line, so I don't have to really try to figure out where it's going to bend. Now I'm going to turn the part around. I'm going to hold it with 1 toothpick. Let me get it where I'm comfortable with that part. And you can see it's bending at the fold line. Okay? Alright, now, I've got it partially bent. What I'm going to do next is I maneuver it under this edge of the bender, and then I clamp down, holding it in place. Okay, there we go. And that just completes the fold. You could probably do it with the toothpicks. Just, I know this comes out neater. Okay? And there were some, it tried to zing on me there. And there we go. We have a part done. I just wanted to let you guys see on camera what I'm doing with that part and how I'm handling the bending of them. Okay? The really tiny parts earlier, you're going to need this thing. There's no way around it for some of the little parts I've done earlier. And I got some more little parts to do some bending on yet too. I've seen that in the directions. And they do have the fold marks in them, but I'm still probably going to use this guy, just to be sure. When we get to them, I'll videotape actually folding with the razor blades, so you guys can see how that works as well. Alright? I'll come back if I have anything useful. Okay, we're just doing a short update to show you guys what I've been doing. Okay? You can see these brass pieces going around here very clearly. Now, what you probably don't know is they're replacing these parts right here. Now you look at that brass detail, then you look at this, and there's a huge difference between this and this. Huge. Okay? This looks like some bolts to some clamps. This, it kind of looks reminiscent of a clamp, but not a whole heck of a lot. I got 4 more of those to do, and this whole plate is done with its photo etch. The ones I'm worried about are the ones up here, because all the detail right here and here, I have to remove this without touching this. And that worries me just a teeny bit. I'm saving them for last for that reason. But again, once these 4 are done, this back plate's done. I have 2 photo etch parts to go on this one, and no, 4 photo etch parts for that, and it's done. And all the rest that's left after that pretty much is interior. There's a teeny bit that's not interior, but for the most part it will be. Okay, so it's moving along. I hope to get all the exterior photo etch done today. So after that, I'm working on the interior and lighting. I'm about to take a break and put primer. I'm going to do these 2, take a break and primer up the pilot so I can start painting him up. Okay? Just wanted to give a second and show you what I've been working on. This brass looks a lot better than the plastic does to me for this one. Alright, now we have a monumental occasion. The first glue has hit plastic. The reactor is glued down. Okay, so now I can start working on this upper part. I got the feeling that I'd better glue this down before I did this upper part. It just felt that way. Simply because I'm supposed to, and I don't know if I'm going to, I'm supposed to put this tiny part right here over the top of this. Right here. Okay, this requires some folding that's not there. And I'm not so sure I like the look of this part. We will see. I've got to get the bends. Well, let's just put it this way. There's no marking line or anything for some of these bends on this one part. There just isn't. You can see it right across the top right there. It's supposed to take a bend right here. And there's no mark for it. So I have to estimate that bend line. I'm going to take a pen and try to mark it somehow. But I'm not so sure that part needs to go on there. I think the rest of the photo etch can go around it without any issue. The reason I glued things on is this part goes on next. This part here goes on next. And yeah, it floats over the top. And that part needs to be on there before I put these other parts on. I think it does anyhow. The directions for the photo etch show that part glued down before the other parts go over the top of it. Okay? So, I'm not sure. Now, there is a photo etch part that goes around the outside of that. I'm going to cut that out and put that down and see what that looks like first. And there's another photo etch part that goes right here. That both those can go on before I have to mess with these 2. So I'm going to go ahead and do those 2 next. Okay? I'm getting there. I'm almost done with all the exterior photo etch. There's not much of the exterior left. Which means it's time for me to start. Next time I sit down at this bench, it will be interior work. Okay? And I think that's looking pretty good. I really like these parts here in place of the kit parts. The kit detail. It's a lot better looking to me. Alright everyone. I'll be back in a little bit. Just wanted to share that a little bit with you. Alright everyone, this is probably the end of day 7. Okay? I'm trying to decide if I add the extra photo etch detail that goes right in here. The thing is, I don't see it really adding anything to the kit, and it overlaps part of photo etch detail that's already here. There's a plate that goes around here, and this plate overlaps this part. It's a big plate, and I'm doing a lot of trimming to get it to fit on there. And what I'm seeing is that it's just not going to contribute. It's not going to look good. There's a folded plate that goes over the top of this. And again, I'm not seeing it's going to contribute or add any good, simply because we have a part right here that goes over the top of this, and this part probably will cling on all of its own. Well, it's not going to. If I put a bit of glue on it or a bit of something else, this part will stay put. I'm at my limit for today anyhow for this, without taking a good break for a little bit. to be honest with you guys. I've been up here for 3 hours. But this part goes over that like this. Okay? And with this part on there, you're not, the other details, I think, there it goes, it's staying on its own. With that part on there, I think the other details are overkill, and I don't think they're going to contribute. So I'm probably just going to ignore the rest of that and call this back reactor done. They're going to overcomplicate things is what they're going to do. So I'm calling the exterior done. I'm not going to use those two parts. I'm going to check with the wife and see what she thinks, because she's like my opinion person, my go-to opinion person. But I'm pretty sure I'm just not going to bother. So I can glue some of these other exterior parts on this thing and call the exterior done, and I can do that later tonight or tomorrow. I'll come back and show you guys day 8. Okay? This being the case, it's time to turn my attention to the interior. These parts. Oop, I'm going to put that in a safe spot. You know, start working on these parts here and start getting, that's the kit supplied part. This is the resin cast part, and start getting this so it'll fit where this goes. Okay? I don't have to sand this down real small, and I'm going to have to do this outside because I don't want this resin dust all over the house. I don't have to reduce them a whole lot, but I definitely can't have this overcast rim that it's got on it, and I need to reduce it some and get it better. But that's Dremel work. So I need to start working on this because I'm really about to call the exterior done. I think I've done enough on this. So here we go. I'm going to call this day done. I'm just going to take a couple of photos and shut it down for the day.